Good morning, traders. Welcome to our daily webinar. Today is Friday, and I promised you guys at the start of this month on YouTube that at the start of this week, I would do that special webinar on the 3 or 4 crypto pairs. It is not only for people who trade crypto. As a matter of fact, it is not only for people who trade. So here is the deal. I will try to do it today. It's going to be very short. It's going to be 3 or 4 crypto pairs. It's 3 or 4 pairs you can do investment into. Now, I don't trade crypto. I've never traded them, but I would probably invest in one of these pairs. So I would open an account and I would invest. It's not a trading one. It's an investment long-term strategy thing. So we're going to find 3 or 4 pairs that are the bottom based on wave analysis. We will find those that are cheap, not the ones, not Bitcoin for sure. These are the ones that are causing sense. But that's not important. The important thing is that these pairs, if they do what we expect them to do, will give you 5 to 1 on your investment. So if you put $1,000 in, you will get $5,000 out of it, maybe in 6 months or 7 months time or a year, depends how long it takes to go to that difference. If we would make changes, to that investment earlier, like we will get out earlier, right? We're definitely not going to get out for loss. We will try to maximum get out for break, even if we think it's not going the way we expect it to go. And we might even buy it lower again, repeat the process. If we're going to do that, then I will update that video for you guys. So that would be like a specific series of things we're going to do long-term, right? If there is no update to it, you will just have to wait, and I will keep following it, maybe 6 months. I hope you follow me in 6-7 months time. We're here, we're not going anywhere. So I would put an investment in there. I'll let you know what investment I put in it when I do, because it's not going to happen today. It's not short term, it's a long term thing. We will buy it. We expect it to go up in a couple of months to this level. I'll show you why and how and what I decide to do, which pairs, and then we will follow up with that. It's going to be about 3 pairs. We've already identified 2 out of those 3 pairs, right, that we were going to do. It's crypto. So if you know somebody, here's what I can advise you to. If you know somebody who might be interested in something like that, you could probably show them. They don't have to do it. Has nothing to do with trading. It has nothing to do with this. If you have a good friend you think has an extra $1,000 that he can afford to lose, he's not going to lose it, hopefully not, right? You might advise, say, hey, look, this is a long-term thing. You don't have to watch it for 6 months, 7 months. You don't have to even trade it. Just put a little money into it. You get 5 to 1 maybe. Worst case, we'll try to get out at least 1 to 1. That would be the plan. Worst case, get out 1 to 1. I believe in wave analysis, that could possibly happen. There's rare chance that unless that crypto thing collapses totally, well then, sorry, that's not my fault, right? And we're hoping that if it's going to collapse, it's not going to collapse this year, right? So let's assume this whole big bubble and crypto thing is going to burst. Let's hope it doesn't burst now. Let's hope it bursts 5 years from now when we are out of it already, right, with our money. That would be the plan. So let's see how that goes, right? I don't think it's going to burst this year. I mean, at some point, this whole thing might change from what it is right now, become something else, morph into something more different. But for now, you can still trade these, right? So that would be a bonus for you and for your friends and family. Don't go tell people to do it. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm showing you what I'm doing. So what you can do is show them what you are doing. Don't tell them, don't advise people to do things they don't want to do. Show them what you're doing. And if they would like to follow you, that's their point. They can make that choice freely of themselves. I'm not giving you a trade. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and you have a right and a choice to follow me if you want, on your own terms. Agreed? Agreed. So don't go say, hey, he told me to buy this one. I bought it. Look, 6 months is not going anywhere, right? That's not what I'm telling you to do. So let's move on from that point. I think you got the message. That'll be a very interesting thing. You can do it as a sideway from your trading. We still will be trading daily. So let's go. We're watching the dollar index. Let me see. As I said, remember the starting that watch these sharp moves when they're standing alone, that very often, it's not 100%, right? But very often you do get a replay of one of those. Like you had this one, you get this one, right? You will do see those sharp moves replaced with themselves. And I've showed you in Bitcoin also, they do. It's part of how the market moves. Why the market moves, so I don't know. Don't ask me. It has nothing to do with news. I'm going to show you why it has nothing to do with news just now. And to my good friend who is telling me, who is trying to challenge me on the Peng Yen chart, that Peng Yen went up because of the news. I'm going to show you that there was no euro news, but the euro moved much more than the pound. Right? There was no change in the euro interest rate yesterday, right? And it moved much more than the pound, which means the interest rate is BS. I'm not saying it's total BS. It's good for the economy. It's good for if you're investing in that currency, specifically in that economy, you will get higher interest rate in it. That's for a different purpose, but it really doesn't influence the market that much as we think it does. They can use that moment to move the market. That's true. And that's what they did in the euro. They used the moment to move the market, regardless of what the news was. Just like they did in the pound. They use the moment to move the market, regardless of what the news is. Right? The news is not what moves the market. The news is a moment of time that the market moves. We trade the news every single day. I am personally in the trading room when we do that. Every single day, every time there's a news event. We have specific strategies of trading. But that's not the reason the market moved. That's the time the market moved. There's a huge difference. Once you get that difference, wave analysis will be good for you. So let's go. What we're expecting to happen here, two things. Either this is going to happen and we go back up. We need to make sure we are going to be buyers. We have to negate the possibility. We have to be sure that this is what it's doing. What if it's going to continue to drop? Who cares? We have to make sure that this possibility is negated and we will keep selling it. Once we figure out that, you know what, that's not what they're doing. They're totally dropping this thing. We will keep selling it. But you must know that there is a possibility like this, that it could come here and go back up. That knowledge is power. Knowing that that could happen would save you a lot, would make you a lot of money, right? Because if you see the buy here, you will take it. Whereas if you think it's going down and you get a buy setup here, you would not take the buy setup. You're assuming, well, that will be a correction to go up, and then it keeps correcting, keep going. Next thing you know, you're already at the top. But we see this pattern and we said, you know what? Yeah, this could be an upside. Let's start buying. And we do that very often. So we're looking for corrections and sell, flags and sell. Yesterday was a sell. I told you that's a sell. There's a sell forming here right now. Once it becomes a very good flag, we'll sell it. And the 1 hour, you can see it's already consolidating. I think we'll expect a running flat. There was a very small possible flag there that might turn into running flat. I expect this to probably go back up here and then we'll look for a sell from here. Could this go back for a much deeper correction? Possible. If we see that possibility, we might even go for the buy. So silver, it dropped, it did pull back. This whole thing might become a big running flat. I have a very strong feeling that so this is not likely going to drop again. They might probably bring it up back to about here. And then we might get the final drop. I don't think this is the turning point as yet. Right? If that is the turning point, then we will have to get a flat here. If we get a flat here today, we'll buy. We will buy this for one more move up like that. That would be the assumption. And if when it make that one more move up, it keeps going, we'll continue to buy. We'll take this as the low, and this is all the correction. But for now, I have a very strong feeling they will still break this low before they go. So what is that strong feeling based on? Based on the bigger pattern. Right? I'm looking at a bigger pattern and it wouldn't really make a lot of sense for them to go back base pattern wise for this to go back up from here because this is just one sharp move that is not connected to anything at the moment. But coming here and breaking the low and then going, that makes a lot of sense in terms of wave analysis. But if we're wrong, we'll still be in the buy. So today we might be looking for a buy setup here, right? If we get the buy setup, if we don't get the buy setup and it keeps just doing this, then at some point, if we get a sell setup here, we'll take it. So in terms of trade, you would have to follow this step by step to decide if you get the buy or you get the sell. I can't make the call right now. I'm expecting the buy first. Gold, perfect. Go for the buy. We already discussed this morning in the trading room. Let this pull back here. You get a perfect flag. We're going for the buy. Let's see how far that goes. It doesn't necessarily have to go very far, but we'll see how far it goes. Remember, I said this was a buy and it dropped there. Well, if you sold it, I hope you got out in time because it's still a buy. It's just a deeper pullback. All right, let's go. This one. So I'm looking at this right now and I'm thinking, well, okay, we haven't broken the lows yet. Remember what I said when it came here. Let's go back to what I told you earlier. When it comes to this low, you would have to be careful because from here, they can make the new high. This would be a running flat, or they might break through. Well, you would wait for the confirmation of one of the two. I'm getting the confirmation that from here, they're likely going to go back up. So good for me, right? Now that I know that, if I get a buy setup here, I'll take the trade. And I am getting a buy setup there. So I would literally put an entry order here right now, which is what my trader already did this morning when I came in the room, right? I think they were looking at this, and this is already a buy setup. If that doesn't go, remember this one didn't go. This one actually dropped lower. Not that we didn't expect that, we expect that. But this, if it stays here and break out, you want that trade. What if it just make one spike to come down? Well, you should have management rules on how you're going to get out of that thing if it doesn't go. We have those management rules, trade management rules. If it doesn't do this, then you would watch to see what the structure looks like, and then you're going to decide stay with the trade or exit the trade. Right? You have to understand where it's going structurally. Structurally, I think this could go back up. We already made that plan when it was at the top here coming down, when we were selling it, that when it gets here, we'll have to be careful. Now it got there and it's reversing. Great. Let's see if it works. Pong? Yes, to my good friend. If you looked at the start of yesterday webinar, I explained why we're not buying the Pong, and not because we don't think it's going to go up. We know it's going up as a correction, but we are always going to buy the Pong because the Pong is going up more as an impulsive move than a correction, which we bought and we got out for profit yesterday. Now it's making more correction. We might continue to buy the Pong today again, and we'll probably not buy the Pong in. I'm not saying it's not going to go up. I'm saying if you have two trades, you look at the one with the higher probability to buy. Right? Now, did this thing move quite a lot? No, that moved just a couple pips. Look at the euro movement yesterday. Look at the euro movement. We bought the euro here. We closed it here. We should be buying back there. If my traders didn't get in as yet, we'll wait for this to pull back a little, and then we'll see if that's a little running flat. We'll go for this trade for the next one. If it consolidates bigger, then good for us. We'll still be buying. So this one was zero change. Zero change. This one was I think, 25% change, right? From 25 to 50. Which one moved a lot? Remind me again where the news is the moving factor. Just look at it. You don't have to guess. Just look at it. That's the point. Look at it. You can see this one went up and came down, and look at the mess in here. You could have even lose money in there if you were not careful how you trade, right? But look at this. Beautiful, right? Zero change. It's the moment in time they move the market. It's not the reason they move the market. And I would challenge anybody to this. The whole economic thing is different from trading. I'm not saying interest rate has zero value. It has value if you're putting money in the bank. It has value when you're doing other stuff in the economy. It has value when you have savings. It has value when you're borrowing money. All of that, it has value. But it doesn't have value in how the entire currency is valued. That's a different story. Right? Now, you can always use those movements to move. They've already decided euro is going up. And they've decided that before the interest rate. Way before the interest rate, euro was already starting to go up. That was decided way before. This is just a moment to spike it. If you don't understand that, you don't understand anything about currencies. You don't understand anything about how the market moves. Not only currency, how the market literally moves. Watch the market, track it, understand the patterns they make, and they will tell you what they're doing. Good. I hope that helped you. So we bought the euro. We'll be buying the euro again. We bought this. We'll be looking for a buy again. It's starting to move slow, so we'll be careful with divergence. If I have a choice again to buy today, and I have to buy euro, buy pound, guess which one I'm buying? Make a wild guess which you think I'm buying. No divergence here. Very sharp move. Get a correction. I'll go for the euro again. Although we took both the euro and the pound yesterday. We actually took some other pound trades as well, right? So let's go. Aussie. Aussie. We got in. If you got in, I think we got in here. You got in, you got out. It's not going anywhere. It's consolidating. This is no longer what I thought it was. We're thinking an expanding flat, but I think this is the only correction. We're making a flat here, which means this would either come retest the low. I think it wouldn't because this is pretty sharp. I'll have to look back and see if we have anything sharp like that in the past. I can't remember that. We'll have to check it in the 4 hour. Oh, we do have. We do have. So this could drop. This could literally drop, which means we'll be going for a sell setup here today. This could literally drop here, or it could come down slowly and then go back up. Either way, we will sell it. So we're looking for a sell here now today. Let's see if we get that sell setup. Yep, this is a good sell setup, by the way. Could this change into a buy setup? Absolutely. I've mentioned that many times how it will change, so I'm going to skip it. If you weren't following me, go back and watch all my past videos. You'll get where I tell you how that will change into a buy setup, into a much bigger pattern, right, for upside. New Zealand, yeah, this is mostly a buy setup. It has to come back a little. If this comes back a little here, we will definitely go for this buy setup to the upside. Can you get the buy in the New Zealand and the sell in the Aussie? Absolutely. The Aussie might just be a deeper correction. It could drop separately from the New Zealand and then go back up. So both trades are possible. Yen. Okay, so we assume that this could go back up, right? I showed you the three possibilities. Well, I think I can't remember which webinar, but if you watch all my webinars, where I said, this could be a WX, YX, Z, go back to this level, but we're not buying it here. Well, very aggressive traders would do that. I mean, for this public, for general public, I would not say do that. And we will wait for it to go up and make a consolidation, and then we'll be considering this trade to break that up. And then this would be more of a bigger flat pattern for still downside. This still remains the sharp impulse. All you're doing is making a bigger correction with that impulse. Now, can we break that top? Of course. It's quite possible we break that top. But after you break the top, you might still come back down. So what if it doesn't come back down? Originally, I was thinking this was the running flat, but because we broke this low here, we kind of exclude that possibility, right? Could it be that this would do something like this, come back here and then go? That is one possibility. If it's going to continue to go up, then we will have to come back and relook at where we put this piece, whether we still put it with this one. That means you would have to relook at the whole structure. Or we'll have to wait for this to be a separate one of itself in the future if this continued to go up, pull back somewhere here. And this one would probably go within this piece. So there are numbers of patterns that could form like it's Lego. You take a number of them, put them together, you can make more than one things with them. And one does not exclude the other. You will have to wait for the confirmation to know that, okay, it's actually not this pattern, but this pattern. Both of those are patterns. You have to make that distinction, which pattern, which piece belongs to which in any given pattern, right? That's something we teach you to do. So you get better at doing it. 1 hour. Let's see if they consolidate here. I can see a possibility for running flat, so I'll put an entry here and we'll go for that. We're trading it only to break the top, and from there, we'll have to keep an eye on it, how it goes. What if it starts to drop? Well, good for me. I wouldn't be in the buy. I'll look for a sell setup afterwards. CAD, we're selling. I think we'll keep an eye on this piece becoming a bigger consolidation here for a sell now. And if we get the sell, we're anticipating that it should drop to about this level before it goes back up. If this consolidation does not drop, but instead do this, come to this level, it will come back here and then take off. That would be the trade I'm interested in. So this entry order for the buy, temporary comes off. We're going for the sell because this move is not the one that is going to take off. Right, this move, the way this is going, this would likely be a bigger flat, something like this. See this bigger flat here? Once it comes down so slow, they go back up and then come down. So if this goes up slow like this, good for us. Then it comes here. We might even sell that, but then we're definitely buying this one. Let's go with the Swiss. Yeah, we're looking for the sell. Right now it's consolidating. So let's see if we get that sell. It's kind of a big consolidation already. Quite big, so we'll wait some more and then we'll decide if it's a sell. It still looks like a sell for now, so we'll go with the sell setup. Euros. That was where we bought it yesterday. If you want to buy it, that was a small one. I didn't think it was going to go that much. I can tell you honestly, I just thought it would come probably about this level. We're going for that trade, but during the news, we decided we're going to go with it upside. So if there's a surprise, this flag will go much more. The surprise worked, it went much more. So now you have this pattern. You have this running flat. I think we'll take it from this one and we'll take it from that one with a running flat in the middle here. That is why we decided this buy might be a good buy before the news because there is a probability that it could go there. See, most traders took the euro, not the euro. That's why when we trade these, we take one only. You don't take all the pairs. You can't put too many risk in it. So most of us took the euro rather than this one, those who were there. But if you were there, you'll take this. So does that change the structure? Not really. You're still in a correction, right? You still have an impulse up here. You have a correction here. You have an impulse up here. You have a correction here. You're getting another impulse. That's all. At some point, this will start to correct or start to reverse. If it starts to correct, we'll buy again. This will become a much bigger correction upwards. It's still correcting upwards as far as we're concerned. I don't see the big, they're short, very short impulse. We're still in this big move here. We're still in this piece. See? We're still kind of making this big correction here. It could do this. They could do this for a while and then come back here. If they do that, the higher it goes into this, the higher the probabilities we're going to do this. And then we're going to come back down here and then we're going to have this here. And if you get this here and you get that, then you're likely going to repeat the same thing here. So we'll just have to wait and see which of those patterns develop. EuroCAD. We didn't buy the EuroCAD. This is showing the top. That's not a buy. I was expecting two things. I was expecting first for them to do this one, maybe come here and come back here and then go, because we have that bigger one. That is with this one that we started. This deep pullback was what I was worried about, but we had a deep pullback here also when I looked at it this morning, and that still went up. So I still think this is going to come tag this up, and then we'll have to exclude this one. We'll have to exclude that big flat there, right? This thing makes some weird patterns. They're really patterns as you know them, but they look really weird, right? As a matter of fact, this pattern is not this piece. If I showed you the real pattern, you'll be confused a little, but it's actually this one. This is actually the pattern. This piece is a consolidation in the move that came down, right? So the pattern is actually this. 1, 2, 3 up. I think that is clear to everybody. 1, 2, 3 down. That is clear, but this piece is which is not clear. This is the piece that is confusing when this comes out of the range of this flat, right? For expansion, and the expansion is not a classical expansion. That's where it gets confusing. I think we're doing something similar here. So we'll watch it when it gets to this stop. And from there, if you don't trade it, no problem. Remember, you had the euros, you had the euro dollar. You don't have to trade this, right? Once a euro is in it, you can trade any other euro pair that has better possibilities than this had. The euro was a perfect one of all of them. So you can still watch it, because when this starts to fall, the euro might not be falling. This could be dropping because of the CAD. So we will try to get that sell when it comes down. Euro pound. Yeah, we anticipated this move up. I don't know if anybody traded it. I don't think we really traded it. We were looking for this to make this flat. It actually went higher. That is no problem. It could be an expanding flat, or it could be that this is starting a bigger move to the upside. So if that is the case, we'll have to find somewhere to put this one. I don't see anywhere to put that as well. So for now, I'll just go with an expanding flat, hoping that this comes back one more down. If it continues to go up, we'll decide if we want to buy it. You can see how many sharp waves there is in this thing going up and down. If you look at it, right, this whole piece here, just making, this. So eventually, if you don't get it here, you'll get it somewhere else in this going back up like this. So you can leave it alone. I would not be buying this. I can tell you that for sure. I don't care how high it go, I'm not buying it. If it is going up because of the euro, we'll buy the euro or some other euro pair. If it is going up because pound is going to drop, we will sell the pound rather than buy this. So we'll wait on this one. Euro New Zealand, definitely buying. We are in the buy and we should stay with that buy. My traders, hold it. We have another buy set up here. Don't give up on that one. Put another buy set up here, and we will try to stay with this. Put it the break even. We already gave up one break even. Remember, let's give up a second one. No big deal, right? So put that break even and stay with it. If this thing breaks out, there's a reason we're trying to keep a long-term trade in this. That is because of the weekly pattern we're looking at. I think I showed you guys already. If you're following me, if you're watching my webinar for the first time, this is why we're trying to keep one of this trade to go. Because if it goes like this, that's what we were expecting. That would be perfect, right? And that is what we were expecting it to do. So it's going very slow. I mean, we've had lots of trades in this thing already. This piece was good. This piece was not so good. This piece was not so good. A lot of break-even trades, I can tell you that. A lot of break-even, positive break-even trade. I think even one or two very small losses. And profitable trades as well. So watch this. You can track, you can follow us for this. If you go once a week, you will not get enough. But if you join the installment program, let's say you can't afford my course right now, you join the installment program, you will get a daily update on it, right? You're not paying for the webinars, you're getting daily. Those are free. Let me explain this again to one guy. You're paying for the course, but you're paying installment for the course, right? We have reduced the installment costs so that most of you can get in and get my daily webinar, because the daily webinar will give you detailed update. It will be free. You're not paying for it, but you don't get it unless you join the installment course, right? So you join that, you get the free bonus. That's it. Simple. Let's go. Euro Swiss. Actually, this one we expected to go. I didn't think it was going to break the top because I was looking for a running flat, but now that it break the top, we'll have to wait and see if it corrects. If it makes a bigger correction here, we'll buy, right? This could be the low. If that is the low, we'll have to see whether, again, you'll have to go back and look whether you missed something for this. Let's see in the past if we had anything. We really, well, this might be the only one. This might be the only one, but it's bigger than this one. That is why I was not matching them. So we'll wait and see. If this starts to go, we're going to get to the top here. So we will trade. It has to make a very good flat before I get it. Otherwise to that, I'm expecting it. I can tell you what I expect this to do. I expect this to come back here. And then I expect it to go there, and then I expect it to drop. I'm looking for this flat first. And then I'm looking for this flat here. And then I'm expecting the downside. So on the big picture, it would look like this. I expect this at some point here to stop, come back down like this, go back up like that, and then drop. So I'm looking for this correction eventually. Let's see if that happens. You can take note and then we'll see. We don't have any reason to sell it as yet, as well as no reason to buy it. Euro yen. Okay, this one actually turned and go back up. So this could be a buy. You could be looking at this if this becomes a 1, 2, 3, pretty much similar to this here, 1, 2, 3. So you get a 1, 2, 3 back to the top. Since it is a 1, 2, 3 and not a sharp wave, I would anticipate that when it gets here, we're going to come back down and then go. Because if it was going, I would expect them to go really sharp without this deep pullback in it. See with this one here, when it had a deep pullback like that, it stopped here, come back down. These waves are sharper down the downside. So this would be more like a flat here, come back down here and then go. So we'll see. If it breaks out of this structure and consolidate there, we'll continue to buy. Can we buy this here? Well, there's a very short buy setup there. There's no need to trade this, trade something else. It will go, but let it go. Trade something else that has a euro in it that will give you better risk to reward. Pound New Zealand. Okay, it's going sideways. I think we're getting the running flat we were anticipating. So it did break the top. It could be also the reversal because you broke the top. This could be the flat. If that's the flat and this is the reversal, we'll have to wait for a flag before we sell. We don't have one. Let's see in the 1 hour what it looks like. Looks like a big mess on the 1 hour. So we'll have to wait to see whether it's proving it's the flat for the downside. That might be waiting. No buying. We're definitely not buying this anymore. We'll wait for it. Pangos. We have a sell set up here, but that might not be valid. We'll take it off because it's starting to look like it's going to go up back to the top here and then come down. But we can leave the entry order here. We'll leave this here for now. Nothing is affecting it from being a good entry order. Leave it there. We'll take it off if we see this going up higher, right? Because it could be a bigger flat in here. So we'll take it off there. For now, it's valid. Pound Swiss. I think this one was a little surprise. I didn't think they would tag the top again. I think they would drop. They went tag the top. So now we're stuck with a big correction that should happen here. Go back up there, give us this flat. And if that happens, we're still going to expect the downside. It's just changing the way the structure is developing. The pattern itself is changing. And that's all. So we'll wait for this. You can put this here, but I expect a flat to happen here. So we're not trading this. Pang Yen. Yep. So my good friend, Pang Yen is going up. Nothing is wrong with that. It could go up. It could actually come all the way to this top. It could even break the top. Like I said, those are possibilities. It could still be a running flat within the structure. I don't think this is all the correction. It's too sharp. So at some point, if it does, but because this was so slow, again, we will not trade it. That's a decision. You don't trade the one that is moving slow. You trade the ones that are moving fast. There are a lot of pound pairs we traded, right? The pound dollar is a good example. You don't necessarily, but if you trade this, great for you, right? Like I said, you might have to wait. This might be the only one that actually gave you money because the rest of them were moving very slow. It's making a correction here now. This would be a better trade for you if you want. Again, let me explain why I would not take that trade. It's a trade setup. It's a flag. I would not take it because we're still in the correction. And this correction could literally just do this and turn. That has happened to many of you many times. Right? You watch it go and you're like, okay, now I'll get in. You don't know when well, in the news, you could assume that it could give you a spike if you want. In the news, that could be a good assumption. We actually used it for a different purpose in news. We trade all the rest up and we were trying to trade this down with the news go the opposite direction, right? So let's see if this goes up. Watch it when it comes to the stop if you take the trade, right? It's making a flag, so it's definitely going to at least give you an impulse to the upside. Maybe just break the top and turn. Maybe it gives you a bigger move. That's a guess. I'm not going into that guess. Funcat. This is one you can buy. You could have bought this. You could have bought it here. You could have bought it here. You could have bought it here. So the Funcat was a better buy than the Pang Yen. Why buy the Pang Yen? Let's see. We're in this structure here now. We're at the top. So at this point, they have to tell us now what is going to happen within this structure, right? Two things could happen. You could come and break out and come to the top here. This would be the 1, 2, 3 in this piece. This is going to be 1, 2, 3 there. That means if we make this move up all the way here, right, it would be mostly, it should be a 1, 2, 3. It shouldn't be sharp like this because we don't have the down move in that one. So I think at some point this might make a much bigger correction once it breaks out, right? Not just this piece, but a bigger flat, something similar to this one or similar to this one. So there will be some bigger correction in this. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see whether it starts to come down. We'll go for the sell. If there's going to be bigger correction and you get a sell set up here, we'll take it, right? It's still in a correction. That means you have to expect bigger patterns to happen, bigger sideways move. Aussie yen. Okay, this was a buy. If you bought, take it off, put an entry above the top. It's still a buy, right? Remember, there are two options of how we could look at this flat. We could look at it this here as this one, or we could look at it that one. Both of them are correct. Now it looks more like the bigger one, so we'll keep an eye on this. If it starts to go, if it breaks out to the top there, for the sell setup, we'll actually wait for the break of this. Sharp impulse, flag it, then sell. We're looking for the upside. Aussie Swiss. Stay out of that. It's going to get to the top there. It's going to get sideways. It's going up and down like this. Stay out of it for now. Aussie CAD. This could be a buy. I think this is a buy setup already. Go into 1 hour, you'll probably see that. And I think this could give us a buy setup. We'll keep an eye on it. I want to see what this does. What this piece here does, right? Even if it drops, I'm not sure whether we'll take the sell. We'll take the sell on the Aussie dollar rather than this one, because this might just drop here and go back up. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, right? So rather than sell this, we'll sell this much later. We'll sell the Aussie dollar. But if we get a buy setup here, we'll take it. Aussie New Zealand, nothing here as yet. We will eventually go for this big sell, but I don't think it's ready as yet. It has to confirm the start of that big sell there, and then we will go for it, right? If we get that big sell set up here, we'll go for it. Canadian. Okay, this has to go up first. This is a big flat forming here now. See, take this out. That is showing the low, not the trade, because you can't trade this like that. So there's a big flat forming here. This one would likely go back up here, tag the top, and then we'll look for a sell setup. But we'll look for a sell setup from the top there, right? The buy on this to the upside, ignore it for now. Swiss yen, that is a buy. It's at the point where we wanted it to go. So we wanted it to come as sharp back to the top there. And then from that point, which means break out of this. If you took that trade, you better close it. Close it somewhere here. Can it go higher? Yes, it can still go higher. It can be an expanding flat. I don't see a very nice buy setup there. You'll have to put an entry here if you still want to go with the buy. But for now, we will start to look for a sell setup. Let it tag the top and turn, then we look for a sell setup. Because the pattern we're looking for, we're assuming that this here would be a running flat. Remember, this one is an equivalent of this. So we're assuming that this here would be some kind of a running flat. It might not be. There's a lot of sharp waves in here. We'll decide if it is or not. But for now, we're going to go with that. Let it exclude this possibility. Then we'll consider the buy. So there is a buy setup there if you want. I will not be trading this to the upside. Personally, I would not be trading it to the upside. There are many better trades than this. And we will wait to see. If it turns, I'll definitely go for the sell. The higher probability trade is to the downside, not the upside. New Zealand yen. Yep, this is a buy. This was where we entered in early in the morning, but where you put the head and shoulder, but this end shoulder should have come here. By rule, my traders know that. It's still a buy. Still look for a buy setup at this level. Look for a buy setup above the top. It has to come down a little more first. You'd want it to come down a little more here first. Prove this is a running flat, and then look for that trade to the upside. Right? So let's go. Where would this take us? Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We broke the low. Right? Not this, not here, right? This is more like this and from this piece, right? So we broke the low. It means that at this point, they can go back pretty high, right? This could go back pretty high all the way to this top. Right? We'll keep an eye on that. If it's a big flat, that is where it's going to go back up. If they want, they can come back to this top, right? You can assume that this, and this would be a flat. So let's see which is it. It's upside you're looking for. New Zealand Swiss. Yep, we expected this to go back up a little, make a flat. We're looking at the possibility of this being a flat, which means this one should come back up here, and then we'll look for a sell setup. If it turns at that point, we'll get a sell setup. New Zealand CAD, same here. We're looking for a short-term buy. If you buy it, you'll have to get out and get in again. Right, you'll have to close it here and look for another entry. And CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss going sideways. Let's see what it does at this point. If this comes down there, there is a kind of a buy setup here. It's not the best buy setup, but there's a buy setup. But if it comes down more here, it will go back up, and then we'll probably get a few of these here before we get a nice flat to the downside. So I'm not sure that this is ready for the upside. There is a buy setup. You'd have to be very cautious if you intend to take it. You can take it, but you have to be very, very accurate, very good, very small short-term trade. And let's go with this. Okay, this is not going up, so we'll take that up. Even if this is going, it is something of its own, because this would have to be a very small correction or a contracting flat. We'll probably go with a contracting flat. No, not a triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be a triangle as well. We'll figure that out. It's a contracting something, right? So right now it's coming down. What's the big picture? Big picture is still upside. I remember this one came down really, really slow here. So if you were trying to sell that and we sold this, the reason we sold that is because of this, right? Remember you had this pattern already there. So this sell here was good. This sell here was good. Then it started to go really slow, right? So if it makes a really good flat here again, we'll sell it. But this sharp one has nothing to go with. So if it goes to the upside, the buy is the better trade, right? You don't have a good sell setup. You don't have a buy setup, stay away from it. As a matter of fact, if you want to put an entry for a buy, here's where I will put an entry for a buy, right? Okay, I will try to go through all of this really fast because it's Friday. I don't want to do 2 webinars again. Let's go. UK oil. Great, take off the sell, right? It goes back to the top. Wait for it to pull back, buy it. Wait for it to pull back for a flat. Let this pull back here for a flat. And then go for the buy. We'll go for this flat here, right? That'll be a buy setup. Same with US oil. Right? US oil actually broke out already, so you probably wouldn't get the trade. Wait for a flag and then buy. I'd be careful of buying at the top, but wait for a flag. If you get a flag, you'll go with it. This one is, let's see how we look at this. So maybe this is also part of the correction. That would be the best option there. That would also be part of the correction. This made a new high, wait for it. It's not the best buy setup. Wait for it to make a flag above here, and then you can go with the buy. And a lot of waves in here, so you'll still have to decide which one is it. Let's wait and see. I'm not trading it, by the way. It's not giving you really good risk to reward. You have a sell setup forming here. This is a better deal. Wait for this to finish and then go for the sell. US 30. Good. So if you took that buy, you close it. Remember what I said, there's a sell setup here. I don't know if it's in the webinar or in my trading room, but we call this sell. That sell there was a good sell. See that one there? That's a sell for downside. Why? Because there's a good chance it could come back all the way to this bottom here and then go back up, right? Depending on how it could come back here and then go up or then break through. So you close the trade here, wait for another sell setup. Let's see if they make a consolidation, we'll sell again, right? If we get another consolidation. Same here. This one, I think, didn't have the flag for the sell. It's kind of trying to go back up. So if you get a flag here, you can buy it. If it makes a flag here, come back like this and make a small flag here, we'll go with that buy to the upside, right? If we need the flag first, and then we can go with the buy. If it comes down as a flat, which means if this comes back deep to this level and go back up there, this would be a flat for a sell. Which is it going to be, the flag or the flat? Let's wait and you will know. Same thing with NASDAQ. I think one more, beside the US 30, one more of them. This one also had the good one, the sell here, right? It was already here. This was a sell. I hope you got break even. The worst case, you got break even out of that trade, right? So it didn't go, it dropped to go back. So now you wait. Let's see if we get a flag there, we buy, right? If this here becomes a flag, pull back here to go, we'll buy it. Because these will become running flats in the future, right? They'll continue to go. You'll get running flats in the future. So the buy is a good idea. If it pull back, if for the sell, it will have to come back all the way to the bottom here, go back up, and then you'll get a sell. So that is not this, that is not today, that's next week. The buy is today. If you get the buy setup, all you need is one pullback for the buy. You need it to come back here, take this pattern, go for the buy, upside. right? Just like we sold this. I didn't see this when it happened. I wasn't there, but if I was there, that would be a sell sign, right? We were here when this happened, so you took this straight. Let's go, PayPal. Stay out of this. It's not going anywhere. That was a very old one. Did we close that? Let's see what this is. I took it out yesterday. It's still there. I don't know why. DAX. Okay, DAX is probably going to go back up. Take this out. It's just a consolidation. I don't think we're totally dropping. I think we're going to go back up. So if you get a good flag somewhere in there, you can buy. Nifty. Wait for the sell, or wait for a flag or something. Sell. If it goes back some more, don't worry. Look for the sell. This is the correction of this impulse, and then you get a sell. Amazon. You're getting a sell set up here. If you get a flag, why not? It could drop. This is a flat. It could drop. Go for the sell. Tesla. If it doesn't go lower, it's a buy. So go for the buy. Ignore the sell. If it drops, let it drop. It's dropping within a consolidation, or you're at the bottom of it. Let it drop. But if it goes up, you want the buy. You're interested in this trade. If that happens, you're not interested in this trade. Let this happen without you. And let's go with this. Yeah, there's a buy setup forming here. You might want to take this because especially if it comes back here and then go, this would be a flat. And that means it can break out of this structure. This would be all the correction. See, there is that possibility. So go for the buy. Bitcoin. Okay, so remember, it's going to come down and go back up. So is this all? Perfect. Look for a buy setup. You can do it two ways. This thing has huge volume if you want to buy that. I don't know if you're buying Bitcoin here, but if you're buying, by the way, if you're listening to me, you should be careful of all the hypes you're hearing on the internet, because I get a few of them when I open my email or when I open Facebook or when I open something on the internet, some social thing with one guy literally said that this was the ad. He said, I'm selling everything I have to buy Bitcoin because he's going to be a billionaire. I remember one guy said that when we were at 69. And I remember one of them said it when it was 29, before they dropped from 29 to 5,000, from 29K to 5K. Don't follow those hypes, because you might end up in the street if you follow that. Right? Don't listen to those things. I don't know what drive people to do crazy things like that. But anyway, wait for a flag. If you get a flag, you can either put an entry here with a stop here. This would be your risk. If you're stopping, you shouldn't trade this with a stop. You should trade this without leverage, so you don't have to stop. Which means if you get a flag here to confirm upside, you can buy. Right? Worst case is going to do 1, 2, 3 and come back down. You can close it somewhere here. Right? So this is the area in which you want to look for buy setups to go. Right? Why you need the flag? You need the flag to make sure that you don't get this. Because without the flag, it could drop right now. But if it makes a flag here, the chances are you'll get one more of this. See? So you wait for the flag, you get it, you want to buy it, that's okay. I will show you a lot of them that shows this same pattern, but for the downside. So ETH, same here. See? You have to take this out. This came really deep. Your buy should have actually been here. If you were buying, that is where you would buy it. Right? See that flag they made there? After you get this one, sorry. After you got this flat here. If we assume this is it, or it could still go there and come back and do this, but this is where you should be buying if you're buying. See? That's the buy. It goes there. So the breakout of this, you see this pattern here. You thought that's going to go up. This is your buy for the upside. Now, be careful with this. We don't know that that's the start to the upside, right? This could still be a corrective structure. And when they break this stop, they drop again. But that will give you an exit strategy, right? If this is not the start, this could be the start. If you go in the bigger picture, right? This could be the start to go back up because we broke the top. And this could be a perfect running flat. Right? Which means this could go back up here and break the top. It could still drop here and then go break the top. Right? So what you're looking for is an exit strategy if it doesn't go. You have your exit strategy. If you bought here, you have your exit strategy. See, this would be a perfect buy setup. We don't have that on the Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is yet. But this one is nice. Let's go with ADA. You have a buy setup, not a perfect one, but a buy, but I will ignore this one because this is telling me no matter what it does, it's going to come back. This is not the upside move, right? This move will go down back no matter what. This is too much correction to start the impulse. That's rare, very rare. right? This one also, this is very likely going to go up and come back down. I'm looking at this as a flat. This would definitely break the top, but I'm expecting it to drop one more. It's rare cases when you have these big flat at the bottom here with a short impulse. Not the Bitcoin impulse is much longer than that. And they come here and they take off. It happens, but it's rare. So if you take this buy to break the top, and you will probably get a flag somewhere to take the buy. If you do, when it breaks the stop, you'd have to start to be careful that if it started to drop, you want to exit it, sell it, and buy back much lower. Link. Same here. I think we will get this as a flat. There's a good chance you will get this as a running flat here. You'll get that as a running flat. 1, 2, 3, go back up one more and then come down. So you might want to keep your eyes on this, right? It could be a running flat, go up, make the new high, and then drop again. Let's see. XRP. This one is definitely downside. The patterns are different. See that? This is a flat in here. See this flat here? And they're not really going up really aggressive. Could this be a bigger flat forming here? This whole piece making a much bigger flat? Well, we'll wait and see, but this is not an aggressive move to the upside, which means this will go down back. No matter what happens, once this is finished, the likelihood of this going back is very, very high, somewhere around 95% of this doing all of this and then dropping here. Right? It's not the up move. It's not the way the up move starts. It's rare to see an up move start like that. I've never seen one start like that for that matter. Could be an exception. Yes. Okay. This one is going to consolidate. You've got a pretty sharp move here. It came down pretty deep. It's going back up. I'll still be watching this for a possibility of a flattened downside, right? So if you're buying it, it's a buy setup. Just be cautious when you break that up. Autumn USD. This is more of a flat than anything. This piece really looks flat. So I'm not buying it at the top there. If it drops, then we look for buy setups. You can actually look for a sell setup. And this one, also, it keeps breaking the top, but it keeps coming back. So if you put it like this, and you put this like this, you're pretty much doing this right now. See? Pretty much doing that. And you do have a pullback in here too. So if this goes up, break the top, then it will probably come back here, maybe even go back up, maybe come back here, maybe go back up, and then come down. You could end up with a series of those waves. So if you're buying at the bottom here, well, once it breaks the top, I'd say take profit. And there is a buy setup there. You do have a small flag, well, a pretty small flag, so it might be a running flat. It could pull back and go. If it pulls back, buy, right? If it pulls back, then you can buy for the upside. Let's go with this. Also pretty much, this one has a sharp wave. If you take this to be the low, if you take this to be, there's a sharp wave in there before you get this, right? So you're getting this correction. If you get a buy a flag somewhere here, you can buy it to go back to that top. It could still be a correction, but it's a buy. So, you know, this could still make a flag here for you and go there and then come back here. This would be a good running flat pattern, sorry. This here is, this is not upside. It's definitely not upside. It's too much correction. It's just correcting. It will stay there for a long time. Okay, this one keeps going up. So you've got a series of flats forming here now. I think we don't know which one is going to be with which, but for now you can go with this. You can start with this piece. You're going to get this one up. You'd have to get one more down. You'd have to get one more up and then the downside. For now, it really looks downside. So you can, if you're buying, once they break the top, you start taking profit. That also very flat. So I'll probably be careful. I'll be looking for it to go up, break the top, and then come back down. This doesn't have a lot to the downside, right? It has like one more drop. Once this is finished, if they do this and they come here, it's upside for now. It has to do this and make a flag here before. Well, not that much. It has to do this and make a flag here before we buy. But once it goes there, if it drops to this low, you can start to look for buy setups from here. Let's go Dash. Same, it's going to go up. You're getting the upside on the Dash. I showed you this already. But I don't think it's ready for the upside. I think this one is just going to probably break the top and come in. Maybe a few more of this in here before it goes, right? But it's not the way the up move starts. And this one. Perfect. It did break the low. It didn't go as far as I was expecting it to go, which means it didn't come way beyond this low, right? It just came down like this. and it's going back. So I would make two assumptions. One is that we're still in this correction, which means this move is still has to happen. This one that I draw, this move that I draw here still has to happen. So it still has to, let me take this out, sorry. This move here still has to happen. It still has to do this. Now, if this is the move, which means if this is 1, 2, 3, then we will get this move up. So if you get a flag here, or if it goes really fast, if this goes really fast to that level, then all we do is look for the sell setup. That's all. We look for the sell setup in this piece, right? If it comes back here, you can look for a buy. We didn't buy this because this didn't go the way. I was expecting a sharper move down, not a slow move like that. So with a slow move, I am assuming that we're still in the correction. It has to break out of the correction. We might not get this up move unless you literally get a flag there to buy it, right? Unless you literally get a flag there to buy it. If not, my view is that this would likely come back here, and then we can look for that buy. If this thing consolidates here long enough to give you a buy, maybe we'll consider it. By Monday, Tuesday, we'll consider that as a buy. But for now, I think we're heading for the downside and then go there. We still have to get that sharp move down. See? So, okay, guys, thank you. I think we've just completed the webinar. It's pretty long. I hope you watch it to the end. I hope you share it if you like it. This week's webinar is completed. Monday, we're starting a course, so you're going to get once a week for the next 6 weeks, because the next 6 weeks, we're going to be doing a live course. It's 6 weeks of training. And after that, you get access to the group fully. If you would like to join our group, but you don't have the resource to do that right now, you might want to join the installment program. We're low over the cost to enter the installment program, so you might want to send me a Skype message and get that. That is if you watch this to the end to get this information, right? Okay, thank all of you. Please share it. I would see all of you on Monday. Take care, trade with care. Bye.